Former service areas.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll open this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. All those who wish, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To start today with a moment, we've had too many of these lately, but a moment to recognize the passing of Lucille Rudolph. We didn't have a meeting last week, so couldn't mention it. Just another one of the leaders that's passed in our community in the past few weeks. Was on the school board for years. Was a member of the Allen tribe and very active there. And also with the Grange, kept it going for years until it could have renewed energy like it has lately. So still can you see the contributions of Lucille Rudolph, and particularly a private loss too. I can remember being in her house with Guy and Ian Roberts, and was thinking, there's a time where none of the people were there that I was talking to. I want to recognize her, and it's always important to recognize the people that are putting more on the line in public service than we are. 7/7 is a good day to do that. With that,
Sir, any comments on my ship makes it down in Pearl Harbor?
That's what I was just referring to.
Okay, I got it right here.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the public servants that put more on the line than many of us do today, and that certainly is something I think about. That's one of the things I think about every time we do the pledge. Pledge of Allegiance was done, instituted, actually, Joe brought it up in public comment one time, and then on the eve of the Iraq War, I believe it was the end of 4 years, starting the 5th, we started doing it in recognition of all the men and women that were putting themselves out there. So, yeah, that's what I was referring to. So. But with that, we've got a lot of people here today, so move on to public comment. This is an optional time period dedicated to listening to the public. We want to hear your ideas or concerns. We are also aware that this forum may not meet all your needs, so please be aware that correspondence by letter or email is welcome at any time. All speakers shall confine their remarks to facts that are germane and relevant to county government. Focus on issues, not individuals or groups of individuals. Please be respectful of persons that are present and not present. Please contact the county administrator or appropriate department to get your questions answered beforehand, so your input will be more effective. This is not a time for questions or debate. Commissioners will typically not respond at this time. Please be aware that for issues for which a public hearing has been or will be held, the comments made during this time period will not be part of that hearing record. To ensure equal opportunity for public comment, all comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person, and each person may address the board one time during the public comment period. When the green light is on, it means to proceed to speak. When the yellow light will go on with the speaker having 30 seconds remaining. The red light means stop. Please start by stating your name and address. We'll go first with consent agenda items, and then regular agenda items, and then anything else people want to talk about. So, anybody here for the consent agenda today, any of those items?
The what?
The consent agenda. Then the regular agenda, we have a lot on there today. We have the SMP, the Shoreline Master Program. We've got the budget later on. We've got a comp plan amendment. We have hearings for those, so you'll have an opportunity to talk then. But you can talk now, it's just not part of that hearing record, as I said at the beginning. We've got community block grant, so anybody here for the regular agenda items? Those? Sure. Matt?
Sure. My name is Matt Sircely, 6A1 17th Street here in Port Townsend. I would most certainly like to file a comment in support of all the work that everyone has done to put together such a strong budget that brings together so many agencies to work together, come to solutions that are less painful for everyone. And in my mind, I view that as democratic outcomes. Democratic outcomes are when a democratic process creates an end result that is good for democracy as a whole and is good for the people in the jurisdiction. And I really believe that you all are striving so hard to make that happen for our county in this time that is so difficult. This year is, on top of last year, is extremely difficult, and it's really important to recognize how much work has gone into solving so many of the challenges in this budget. So, in addition, I think that the principle of democratic outcomes applies to the SMP. Here we have another issue that some see as divisive because it, can pit different folks against others. But in achieving democratic outcomes throughout this process of working to protect the environment and to also be very mindful of individuals who have concerns, to come up with something after such a long process of so much democratic input, to achieve those outcomes, I think is incredibly commendable. And I personally thank all of you for everything that you've done in order to make that happen. Finally, in the spirit of democratic outcomes and democratic inputs, I believe that this forum is this comment period is really wonderful to have. And I believe that you're not going to find any more staunch defender of free speech. But I encourage you to think of the big picture, to think of the democratic outcomes, to think of what's best for all the people in the county when we're done with everything that we have to deal with today. And I just thank you all for all your hard work. My time is up.
Thank you. Anybody else on any of the other regular agenda